Okay, so by now, I imagine you're wondering if I relapsed or not. Given the clickbaity nature of the title that I'm going to give this video, I'm going to start with the honest truth and work backwards from there. I did not relapse. I didn't drink any alcohol at all for now 2.5 years. But this weekend, this week, this 2 weeks, I have come this close. There's a number of reasons for that. First of all, the last couple of videos that I've put on this channel, if you follow Backcountry, then you'll know that I was struggling over Christmas. I filmed some of my stuff in a public park when it was -8, and I did another video recently about relapse, about what to look for when you're about to relapse. And everybody in the comments, people were telling me that I'm close. So I survived Christmas and New Year's and a few other kind of birthdays around this period. I did all of that sober, and it just didn't seem to be an issue. I wasn't being sober. I was just sober. So after I published those videos and looked through all of your comments, I could see that you were right, and that to some extent I needed to follow my own advice, put my money where my mouth is. And one of the things that I direct people to is AA, even though I'm not a member myself, not active in AA, and into the care of professional doctors and nurses, into professional healthcare. And that's what I chose to do. For the first time since in the 6 years I've been trying to get sober, however long it's been, this was the first time that I thought that I needed something to prop me up a little bit. So one of the things that I suffer with is a major depressive disorder with psychosis. That's the full technical term. It's psychotic depression. It's when the depression is so sharp that it makes you feel and see things that aren't really there. And it leads you into delusions and conspiracies against you, that kind of thing. I'll give you an example. Before I got the treatment a couple of weeks ago, I was walking my dog around this paddock, this field that's out in public, and I have the ocean and the beach just 100 feet away there, and then a row of houses 100 feet away there. And outside one of those houses was a guy filming me, playing with my dog. And I saw him film me, and I began to walk towards him as if to confront him, like, hey, why are you filming me? What's going on? But by the time I got there, he was long gone. But the thing is, afterwards, I turned around at that point to look where I'd been coming from. And at that point, I realized that he wasn't filming me. He was filming the most beautiful sunrise over the ocean. And I had gone to pick a fight with him for doing it. That's delusion. That's delusion and conspiratorial thinking. And that had been going on for a while. And it got to a point where I spoke with my girlfriend, and I kind of floated the idea, like, what do you think about me going back onto medication and trying a different kind of antidepressant? She was like, well, let's give it a try, is what she said. I'm like her, and myself, I'm slightly skeptical about the role of medication for alcoholism. But sometimes, like, when you're getting sober, you have to throw so much shit at the wall in the hope that something will stick. And that's what this was for me. And it was bad. And by Friday, I was thinking that I am going to relapse now. So at lunchtime, I went to my local GP, as a general practitioner, a local doctor, and sought her advice. what I was seeking, let me just be honest about it, I was seeking some sort of medication to make me feel something, in a way that alcohol made me feel something, or the way that narcotics make you feel something. I missed that. And she said she wasn't able to prescribe me anything, but there is a psychiatric ward that deals with addiction and recovery. I was like, can you write down the address for me and then I'll go find it? And she wrote down the road name, and I was like, hang on a minute, that's my road name. And it turns out this clinic is just here, just like a few doors away. And that was like a sign, that was like a ray of light breaking through the clouds, like, go there now. What it is like a big villa, a big Spanish-style villa, but it had been converted into a health institute. And it's a very cool place. And by the time I had got there, the actual physicians they finished at lunchtime, basically, so they'd all gone for the weekend. But I did manage to catch one of the doctors leaving. He turned out to be the most senior person. And he asked me a couple of questions, like what my age was and why I want to speak to him. And I said, age is 40, I want to speak to you about alcoholism as a result of a traumatic brain injury and PTSD. And he said, okay, come back Monday. He wanted to talk to me. Sometimes, like, you got to make your story more dramatic than it really is. Sometimes, just to get attention. It's the whole squeaky wheel thing. So it left me with a problem. Is that I had found exactly where I needed to be. I just found it half an hour too late, and I had to survive the entire weekend with this compulsion, this physical drive to open a bottle of alcohol. So a lot of you, I don't even want to say it really, but a lot of you who have been where I was will understand what comes next. And those of you who have never come close to it will never understand. And it doesn't matter either way, you're all going to be angry at me. So what I did was, on the way home, just out of pure desire to feel a thing, I bought like 3 packets of Percocets, codeine and whatever else. 3 boxes of it. That's something like 68 pills of codeine. I'd never had a codeine urge before. In fact, the first time was when I had this tooth installed. That was the first time that I'd ever had to use codeine, so I had no familiarity with it at all. I only know that it was very effective, and that urge to drink disappeared, but that urge to eat every single tablet was quickly overwhelming. So I went back on Monday. I went back first thing. I was the first person at the building. Before the doctors even arrived, I was back at that villa because I knew I needed help at this point. I wasn't going to be able to do it alone. And I was introduced to the main guy that I spoke to him for 10 or 15 minutes, and he asked me some very weird questions. One of the questions he asked, after he established my age, my name, my address and stuff, he suddenly pivoted into really unexpected questions. He was like, what is your favourite brand of vodka? And I would tell him, it would throw me. The question threw me, and I kind of went, Zubrovka, the bison grass. And then he would carry on with normal questions, and then he would say, have you ever been the last person conscious at a party? And it just kind of unexpected from a medical professional. It was really weird. And then he said, okay, by the time, go and speak to a psychiatrist and a psychologist, and by the time you return, I'll give you a prescription. And that's what I did. I sat with very German, very structured psychiatrist, very severe, like with blonde hair, tight in a real tight bun at the back of her head, and a black polo neck, like very much the stereotype of a German psychiatrist. And then I spoke to a psychologist who was much more like an American style of talking therapy. Is that I went back to the main doctor, and by the time I got there, he had given me the perfect recipe, I think. Like I think, because there's no way he had the time to consult with this psychologist and psychiatrist before he wrote my prescription. I think that he had my number straight away when with the first questions. He was saying Zubrovka was that's all I said when he asked that question about my favourite brand, but that told him something. And he just guessed my personality straight away. It was really weird. And the prescription that he gave me was one antidepressant that wasn't an SSRI, because I asked, I don't like SSRIs. Anti-anxiety tablets, for which I forget the name at the moment, and a couple of other things. And then a big surprise to see on my prescription was a benzodiazepine. So what he had done is he put together a plan to get me through the next phase, the next few days with the benzos. That was going to take the edge off and stop me from drinking. And then I was going to go back the following Monday and get re-prescribed with longer term mental health medication, which I'll be doing. This place is incredible. I can't believe that it exists. I go there now. It's kind of like a less crazy version of AA. They have there's scientific and medical people there, but we do like a group conversation at 3:30 every Monday. I've been going a couple of weeks now, and they're fascinating, man. Because there's none of they're guided by one person, the psychiatrist. Or the psychologist. They pick a topic, and that's what we're going to talk about for an hour and a half, just that thing. And she guides the conversation. And I don't speak Greek, so quite often I have this incredible privilege to be able to see what alcoholics look like when they talk about alcohol, but without understanding the language they're using. I feel like I need to explain that better. To sit and imagine an AA in which you don't speak the native language at all, and watching all of the body language, and it's like a breakthrough for me, because I often didn't need to know what they were saying. Literally, I could often tell from the body language. So the point that I'm trying to get across in this video is one for everybody who was worried about me. Thank you. It was not, I didn't take it for granted, even though I was I didn't reply to much in the comments and stuff. And two, just to give you a real insight into what that relapse process looks like. Because the last video, everybody was scared for me, and scared that I was going to relapse, and I was scared too. It became kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you think you're going to relapse, the more likely it becomes. I'm glad I managed to stop it with your help when I did. Anyway, thank you for watching, and as always, good luck out there.